Hello, welcome all to the Yhing show. Today we have a very beautiful guest. She is bold, beautiful, elegant, and extremely confident. May I introduce Anjali Yadav from Nepal. Welcome, Anjali.
Hello.
Hello, hi.
How are you?
Very good, very good. So, Anjali, would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers?
So hi everyone, whoever's watching Miss Ying's show, and I'm Anjali from Nepal, a 21-year-old, studying, just graduated from major in finance and banking, and then going back in few days to pursue career in business, probably.
That's
Yes.
great, that's great. So, what's your passion, Anjali? Can I ask?
I don't know, like passion. Talking about passion, I don't think I've figured out much, like, or very specific anything. But if you ask me what I love to do nowadays, like it keeps on changing every 3 months. But then now I'm more into traveling because I've been here 11 months in Thailand, so just been exploring out there and then getting to know more people, doing adventurous stuffs and everything. So yeah, I think that right now that would be like I'm just exploring and traveling. And
That's
everything.
great, that's great. Anjali, how did you find Bangkok overall?
Very different journey because it was the first time, like we were so away from our parents. Like it was 11 months. I had not seen my mom, and then my brother visited in the middle, but then obviously very different. A lot of self-growth, a lot of hardship as well. There were days like me and my friends were crying because it was so different from how we are back there, because we all know that as an Asians, like we're always like we're always a habit of like spoon feeding and everything. So here you had to literally start everything by your own, like figure out groceries, clean everything. So it's obviously a very different journey, but then at the end of the day, I'm glad that I chose to stay back for my internship as well, because it taught me a lot of stuffs when it comes to self-growth, when it comes to independence, when it comes to living alone and getting things done by yourself, not depending on anybody. So yes, overall, I'm glad that I stayed, and it's a very beautiful journey one should have.
Sure, that's great. Any experience that you wish to share to our viewers that you felt like, oh my God, where am I? Am I stuck in somewhere? Maybe the grab taxi took you somewhere else, or maybe like language barrier, or maybe you felt embarrassed on the road or something like that. Would you like to share?
I mean, obviously, whatever you said, that's always been there. But then, more than that, I feel like one thing that's always gonna stay with me is that, like, as I came with 63 of my classmates, and then after everyone left on January 1st week, it was just like 2 of my friends were here. And then I still remember that day where we didn't had figure out anything, like no internship, nothing. And then we're sitting there and we're like, what are we doing with our lives? Like, I feel like that day we just, like, you know, like every time we just are like, oh, adulthood hit and maturity and everything. But I feel like that day was so different, that me and my friends sitting and we're just crying that we don't have internship, we don't have house, my contract's getting over, we literally don't have a house to live in, and we're just like, what to do, where to go. And only one thing we knew that was like that time, that we want to do internship here. But then other than that, there was no way, no any other things we had figured out. And we're calling our parents and crying that, oh, like, what are we doing? But our parents were like, we believe in you, you can do it and everything. And luckily, after 2 days, we found another internship, and here we are doing it for 5 months.
That's great, that's great. So God is there, prayers have been answered.
for sure.
Very nice, that's right. Would you like to share something about your internship? Because I've seen that you were very overwhelmed and you're cherishing the little moments of your internship, and you feel like yesterday you had a party time and you were crying. So would you like to share something about the internship to our viewers, please?
Like during 4 years back in Nepal, like I started 3 years back in KCM, and then obviously that time also we were doing internship and everything. But then here in Bangkok, it was completely different experience. As I said, that in the starting only, it was so much hardship we had to like go through to find it and everything. But once I joined my internship, so for your information, I did internship in Nurture High Education Global Academy. So one thing I liked there about was that everyone was very international, so there was no communication barrier and then everything. So everyone used to speak in English language. But other than that, as a major in finance, I got to learn from each and every one of them. That's why I think till the date, I'm like, when I speak, I just get overwhelmed. I just get like some goosebumps because they were these 4 months because my parents were not here and everyone, their support and their like, they just taught me a lot of things and everything, and we call them as a family now. So I feel like not only in terms of career, in terms of like career growth, but now I've made like 10 new family members and just gonna take them away for my whole life.
That's nice, very good. So another thing, can you give me some tips for the newcomers that not to lose hope, or maybe like sometimes if they're feeling negative or they're feeling pessimistic about the culture shock, would you like to give some tips to our newcomers, especially for the girls? Because South Asian, especially the family, they don't want to send their daughters abroad. So would you like to share something, because you have spent quality of time here and you have also been in India, and would you like to share something like being away from home, and is it like safe, and how do you feel?
See, I would like to say that my dad never said no to anything, and that was because my mom and dad like come from a very small town in Nepal, but then at the end of the day for them also it was a very big deal. Like I think like whatever I am today, as you said, like I also firmly believe that I'm very confident, but then whatever I've come here is because of my mom and dad, and they gave me every opportunity to like do everything whatever I want. But then at the end of the day, only one thing I would want to say is like everyone's journey is different, so you don't have to relate to me. You just figure it out by yourself. But I just feel like don't ever give up, because that's the thing that if me and my friends gave up, like we didn't find internship and we gave up, then I would not be here spending the best 4 months alone by myself here in Bangkok. So it's literally like you just have to keep that patience, hold yourself, and then just go out there and find yourself at the end of the day. And talking about parents for girls and everything, trust me, I've been out there 3 a.m. in the night in Bangkok, and Bangkok's the most safe city for girls. Nobody can do anything. Obviously I get that concern that I get parents concerned, because my mom's also very like caring and everything. Like when I used to not come back home in Nepal, she used to stand in the door like till 7 8. If I'm not home by 7 p.m, she used to stand in the door and then just wait for me. So I get that, but then I feel like it's like double side, that one is you want your children to grow and everything, and for to grow I feel like that's important to let your children go and not always keep it by yourself, because the more you let them explore the world, they see more world and they see more people, like how actually world is growing and everything, and then obviously eventually they can come back to you. But then I think this is the peak age where I am, to find yourself and go out there, see what's your capability, and never stop them from what they want to do.
That's great. So you're taking the positive side of the freedom that have been given by your parents.
Yeah,
that's nice.
Yeah, like I feel like my parents always gave me freedom, but then it's more of like you should, like at the end of the day, I know where I come from, where my parents come from, and it's about roots. Like you should never. My dad always say that. No matter how big you become, never forget where you've come from.
That's right.
Because once a person forgets like what are their roots, they are not that person anymore.
That's right.
Just because like how it's, I mean, it's funny how it's always said like fame hits you and then you just become very proudy and everything. I feel like the more you stay ground to earth, more you relate to people, more people will respect you in the society. I know these are very big words from a 21-year-old, but then trust me, I have seen that in a very young age. Like you just be very nice to people, good networking, everything, it will take you very high. So I just want to tell people that just stay in your ground roots and then just be yourself. Like you don't have to copy just because I am somebody. Everyone's different at the end of the day, and then you just figure out yourself and just be who you are. That's the biggest weapon you can have in yourself.
That's
like your
good.
Individuality.
Very good. So now, Anjali Yadav, you are trying to find out your career. How do you see yourself in the future 10 years? After 10 years, maybe 2034 or 2030, I mean, how do you see yourself? Where you see yourself? In Nepal, in America, in UK?
Honestly, I can't answer that. Honestly, 10 years is a very long time for me, even though people say that it's a very short journey. But then, obviously, want to open my business, want to start like very entrepreneurial. So obviously, want to see like where I take with like my business idea forward and everything. But then, in terms of country, I feel like I'm gonna be based on in Nepal only, rather like based in Nepal, but will obviously be like traveling across the globe and everything. But then other than that, for sure, like business. And in 5 years, obviously want to do my master's, but probably going to take 2 and 3 years gap and then just work for some corporate houses and everything. And then like just see where life takes
Where
me.
life takes
Yeah.
you. That's nice. Very good. And coming up, another thing that you can tell me, because you're from Nepal, really would like to know, because Lord Buddha is also the birthplace in Nepal.
Yes.
And we worship Buddhist, the religion. 80% of Thailand are Buddhist. What do you see the similarity between the Thai culture, or maybe the Thai Buddhist thing, and the Nepal people?
Honestly, I feel like I'm just not the right person to answer that, because firstly I'm Hindu, and
Yeah,
then
Hindu.
I've not followed, like I don't know much about it, so I don't want to speak some false stuffs which will just go out wrong to the audience. But then, I don't know about the Buddhist being exact with this, but then what I can say to you is about Thai people and Nepalese people similarities, that both of them, like I found Thai people very humble, like very sweet, very welcoming, very helpful. So, and then in Nepal also, if you come like visit as a tourist, like we have a saying that Atiti Devo Bhava, so it's like we worship our guests are like God, so we always take care of our guests and we are very welcoming and everything. So one thing that's very similar is that everyone's very sweet around you, very humble, very welcoming, and they'll not make you feel like missing home.
That's great. So, very 3 quick words for Thailand. What would you like to say? You have to pick the words? Just 3 words for Bangkok, or maybe Thailand.
3 words:
Only 3 words.
independence, convenient, access to the world.
Access to the world. That's nice. Very good. Any future comments or any concluding remarks for our future generation, or maybe someone who is trying to join international program in here, or maybe somewhere else in the other countries? Apart from their own home country, maybe, because the real issue is sometimes what I think from the higher education perspective, I feel that when they go abroad, they want to settle there. They don't want to come back. It's like a brain drain. So do you think that it is, I know that it's not for everyone. Maybe it's for some of the people. They will want to leave their country, they want to leave their family. What do you think about that?
At the end of the day, it's about your goals, your objectives, what you've seen through life. It's literally up to you. Nobody can come up to you and say that, oh, like don't leave your country, or don't leave your parents, or anything. As an individual, I feel like at the end of the day, just think about your parents, what they have done for you, and then what they want, and then don't think about any other people in the world, because that's what that's what it matters. And then I also know that like no parent will never be like sad if their children are growing, or every parent wants, even if you're Nepali, either you're sitting in America or UK or Australia, you're at the end of the day working for yourself and working for your country. Just because you don't have to be like Nepali and just stay in the Nepal and then work. You can work in any part of the world and represent Nepal. So it really does not matter that wherever you are. I feel like, as I said before also, that just be yourself, because that's literally the biggest weapon. Because that's the thing, right? Like you are just yourself. Nobody can actually copy you. So that's the unique part about you. I feel like as an individual, everyone has so much to offer to everyone. Like everyone's different at the end of the day. And then I feel like, yeah, don't think about other people, just ignore that. There will always be like 100 people saying something always about you, but never let it bother. I feel like today I'm here because obviously there were so many people back there saying a lot of stuff, but I didn't think much about that because I knew what I am looking for and what I am capable of. So just go through your journey. Everyone's journey is different, and just be yourself.
That's great. So just be yourself, and you're the great example of bold, beautiful, and daring, as I could say, and very independent. So now, signing off from here, I would like to thank you, Anjali. Thank you
so
very much for your time,
Thank you.
and especially thanks for the audience for listening and watching. Please stay tuned and subscribe and like our Yhing podcast. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.